3,226 security officers, 10,438 center managers, among other members of the school community who support the candidates on a day-to-day basis while the examination was in progress. Ladies and gentlemen, the management, distribution and security examination materials while in the field was coordinated by a team of dedicated field officers at county and sub-county level. This included county commissioners, assistant county commissioners, and their security teams, Ministers of Education regional directors, county directors, sub-county directors of education, and a team of other education officials, TSC regional officers, county and sub-county directors in the Teacher Service Commission. This interagency team worked tirelessly to ensure success of the process for over 5 weeks. Please accept our gratitude for this sacrifice. The marking of 2020 KCSE examination candidate answer scripts was successfully undertaken by a dedicated team of 25,135 examiners. Thereafter, a competent team of NEC officers processed the examination results for the candidates, culminating to the release of the same today. Ladies and gentlemen, I also wish to recognize the 747,161 candidates who registered and sat the 2020 KCSE examinations in 10,567 examination centers countrywide. These candidates registered for 31 subjects, which were tested in 77 papers. NEC on the spot ensured that all candidates, including those with special needs and disabilities, as well as those who took examination under other special circumstances, were accorded appropriate opportunity to ensure fairness and equity. We commend these youth for braving a unique period in our history and their compliance to Ministry of Health protocols towards prevention of spread of COVID-19. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank all stakeholders and the members of the public who supported Kenya National Examination Council in various capacities and the means during the long journey. I wish to reiterate the commitment of Kenya National Examination Council towards the realization of education goals of the country, the Kenya Vision 2030, and other global development goals which we have attested to. With those remarks, I wish to end my remarks, and I wish to pray to the Almighty God to bless each one of you for you corporately, because we are representing institutions and your families in a mighty way. And with those remarks, I will take this opportunity to invite the chair of the council, and may also request him to introduce the council members present. Thank you.
The Cabinet Secretary for Education, Professor George Magoha, the Chairperson of the Parliamentary Committee on Education, the Chief Administration Secretary is present, Principal Secretary is present, Council members, NEC Council members, the TSC CEO, Director KICD, Director General, Minister of Education, Directors present, union representatives present, the media fraternity, staff of the Kenya National Examinations Council, all distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Before I proceed further with my remarks, allow me to introduce members of the Governing Council of NEC. Dr. Julius Juan, thank you. Dr. Nancy Macharia, Professor Charles Songondo, Rosemary Saina, Mr. Festus Kingori, is not there, Colonel Retired Leonard Owambo, Martin Okio, Dr. Mary Gaturu, Dr. Fred Spotter, Dr. Mercy Karogo, and Mr. Peter Rutere. On behalf of the NEC Council, I welcome you for the release of the 2020 KCSE examination results. I also recognize the presence of all of you and extend our gratitude to you for gracing the occasion. This marks the end of the 32nd cycle of the KCSE examination since its inception in 1989. Indeed, for us as a council, this is a landmark in service. Having been tasked with the spearheading assessment and examination of the Kenyan child in the midst of unprecedented global pandemic that has affected many sectors and operations, including education. As you are aware, the effects of the pandemic affected nearly all education assessment boards worldwide, without exception. In some cases, examination processes were disrupted midstream, and some are yet to resume full operations to date. We therefore consider it a great milestone for the Kenya National Examinations Council to have successfully completed the 2020 national examinations. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate the pivotal role of Professor George Magoha, the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Education, in this process, for remaining steadfast in his commitment to the completion of the examination cycle. Through his stewardship, the Kenya National Examination Council received the required support from all the relevant arms of the government, thus providing an enabling environment for the conduct of the 2020 KCPE and the KCSE examinations. I wish to assure you all that the Council put in place all measures possible to ensure that the KCSE examination results and certification of the 2020 candidates maintained the global repute that the Kenyan education has gained over the recent years. The Council, therefore, worked tirelessly to ensure professionalism and integrity throughout the process. In this process, the NEC staff worked diligently around the clock to ensure the prompt availability of all examination requirements. As was the case with many examination boards, field administration of the examination in COVID-19 times was not without unprecedented unique challenges, but the Council navigated successfully. Ladies and gentlemen, this would have not been possible without the support of all of you as responsible stakeholders and process owners. These include the larger Ministry of Education, starting with the Cabinet Secretary, the Ministry of Interior and Coordination of National Government, the Ministry of ICT, semi-autonomous government agencies, associations, unions, and other institutions, and individuals who supported NEC throughout the examination cycle. Special recognition goes to the 2020 KCSE examination candidates, their parents, and patriotic members of the public who supported the process by refusing to tolerate examination malpractice by reporting all cases of attempted vice. we as a council wish to urge all law-abiding citizens to fight against all attempts to cheat in examinations, because this not only affects the moral of our future generations, but also growth and development of the country. As I conclude my remarks, I wish to mention that NEC is still on course in rolling out the competency-based assessment in support of the competency-based curriculum at basic education, and envisages to roll out the same at tertiary levels at the appropriate time. With those remarks, I take this opportunity to wish all the 2020 KCSE examination candidates success in their next phase of life, and urge them not to focus more on the grades attained in the examination, but instead focus on the selection of the appropriate pathways that steer them towards their future career growth and development. Thank you. At this point, I would like to hand over to the PS, Dr. Julius Joan, to continue with the program. Dr. Joan, please.
Your turn.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, our Cabinet Secretary. Thank you, Chair NEC. All protocols observed because of time, ladies and gentlemen. Mine is going to be very brief. The first one is basically to introduce the senior colleagues who are here, starting with the Chief Administrative Secretaries. We have three of them. Dr. Sarah Ruto, just you can wave. We have Mr. Noor and Madam Mumina. Then we have my colleagues, the PSS. We have Ambassador Nabukwesi, Mr. Cheruiyot, and Dr. Mokima. Thank you. Allow me also to acknowledge the presence of our colleagues from the Private Schools Association. I saw Mr. Ndora around. Please wave. Oh, thank you. We have colleagues from international schools. I think I saw you together. We have CEOs around here. Some of them have already been mentioned as board members. But allow me to mention Madam Dr. Wahome. Dr. Wahome is the CEO COOPS, that is the Kenya Universities and Colleges Central Placement Services. Very critical, because the results that are being announced here, the next step for the learners is for them to be selected to the various institutions in the country. That is important because once you get your selection through COOPS, then you can be sure of getting government capitation, as well as being able to apply to the Higher Education Loans Board funds. We have the Chair of Parents Association, Mr. Mayu. I saw you around. Thank you. We have the principals of some of our schools. I think they are sitting behind there. Please just wave to the team. Thank you very much. We have many directors from the ministry, directors from TSE, directors from NEC. Please, you can wave. We have colleagues from COOPET and NAT. Because of time, I saw Honorable Mboko Milemba and Honorable Sosion. Ladies and gentlemen, at this stage, allow me very briefly to invite the Chair of the Education Committee in Parliament to just say a word, and then we move on because of time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. CS Magoha, your entire team, in the education fraternity, and all members present. Good afternoon. Let me start by thanking God for life and health. There are so many things happening in this world, but by the grace of God, we are alive and healthy. First, I want to congratulate the teachers and the parents. and all the stakeholders for their resilience and hard work during a very difficult time. Despite all this, they have been able to excel. The release of the release of today's results mark another milestone in the education sector, which is continuously improving to accommodate all learners and provide fair opportunities for onward transition to institutes of higher learning. We must commend the ministry under the leadership of CS Magoha for real-time release of results. This ensures parents plan on time and end a lot of anxiety for our children. Well done, Bwana CS and your entire team. I want to take this opportunity to thank also His Excellency, the President, and the National Assembly Committee on Education and Research, and the House as a whole, for the recent appointment and approval of one Professor Fatuma Chege, PS, Curriculum Reforms and Implementation. This is a very key department because Kenya now is embracing the new education system, CBC. This system is long overdue because it will bring the best in our children by developing their skills and knowledge, and application of the same will ensure our children become better communicators, critical thinkers, among many other things. So Kenyans should now be fully ready to embrace the new education system. TSC, which is also represented here by Madam Nancy, is a very key player. We are going to ensure that they get the necessary support so that they can be able to roll out and train the teachers about the new curriculum. The Education Committee will always support the ministry to develop the right policies, support them through the budget, but also oversight and ensure that every cent is utilized very well. My appeal to leaders, to parents, and all stakeholders is to ensure that our candidates get to the next phase of their education so that they can be able to move on very well in that area. I don't want to say a lot, but I must thank the ministry for what it has done, because now we are able to plan as parents and move ahead. Today I'm accompanied by two very key members of my committee, Honorable Omboko Milemba and Honorable Sosion. I'm sure they're also wearing the hat of the unions that they represent. Honorable Sosion represents NAT and Honorable Omboko Milemba represents KUPPET. And we all know the key role that unions play in this country. Thank you very much, and I'm very honored to be here today when you're releasing the results. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa. Before I invite the CEO TSC to make her remarks, I want to mention three things. One is to pay homage to the teachers of this country who gallantly and proudly went to schools when everybody was not sure that we would move on. They did their bit, and what we are doing today is as a result of their great work. Most critically is the fact that we have opened school today, and from what we observed during the COVID pandemic, which is still going on, we realize that our children are safer in school. We realize the critical role that teachers play. Indeed, when His Excellency the President announced that the schools will be opened as scheduled, everybody breathed a sigh of relief. And that shows that our teachers play a critical role in not only the cognitive development of our learners, but in the psychosocial support. We call upon them that as our learners report to school today, they continue with a similar engagement. Allow me to thank the multi-agency team, led here by Commissioner Picho. I hope you are around. This team has been great to us. During the examinations, we kept updating one another almost on a day-to-day basis, on a 24-hour basis, and we don't take it for granted. And we keep pleading with them that as learners report to school today, the continued support from the multi-agency continues so that we ensure our learners are safe. Finally, I want to call on our field officers to ensure that our schools open today, the health and medical protocols are followed to the letter as we did in the previous terms, so that schools remain safe. I saw a cartoon in the papers today that indicated learners learning under a tree and the rain falling on them. I want to assure the country that in primary schools this term, the grade 4 pupils are still away, which means in many schools we have some extra space where we can keep social distance while learning. The same applies to secondary schools where we don't have Form 4 students for this term, and therefore again they have some space where learners can sit safely, keeping social distance. I also want to plead with the entire country to provide safe passage for learners as they travel to school. In some areas it's raining very heavily. Let us provide safe passage to those who are traveling school to be boarders, those who are day scholars, whether we are matatu conductors, we are border riders, everybody needs to provide passage and support to the learners. At this stage, allow me to invite the COTSE to make her remarks, and then we move on to the release of the results by the Cabinet Secretary. Karibu sana, Madam Nancy.
The CS, Professor Magoha, all the CSs present, the PSs, Honorable Florence Mutua, and your colleague members of the Education Committee, Honorable Sosion, Honorable Milemba, NEC Chair, and the Council, and the CEO, Director KICD, senior officers from TSC and the Minister of Education, principals of secondary schools present, representatives of unions present, members of the Fourth Estate, ladies and gentlemen. Let me start by saying that I'm extremely pleased to see us gathered here today to celebrate yet another successful delivery of the KCSE examination. Given the most difficult circumstances under which this examination was delivered, I wish to thank all teachers who are involved in administering and marking this important exam. As a commission, we honor and celebrate our wonderful teachers for a job well done. Enjoy the accolades, our teachers, because you certainly earned them. And let's clap for our teachers. However, even as we threw accolades their way, I wish to empathize with the 7 teachers who were involved in a road accident near Webuye on their way home from marking the KCSE exams. We wish them quick recovery, and we shall be praying for them. The TSC is impressed with the high rate of COVID vaccine uptake among teachers. As of yesterday, that is Sunday, the 8th, we had 494 teachers vaccinated, constituting 48.9 female and 51% male. It is satisfying to note that majority of the teachers aged 58 years and above have taken the jab from the data. The impressive number has been achieved despite the move either during the administration of the examinations or during the marking exercise. Having concluded the examination period, I beseech all teachers to take up the jab. And as we announced when we were releasing the KCPE, His Excellency the President granted all teachers an opportunity to get the vaccination regardless of age. Please, teachers, let's utilize this gracious opportunity to protect our lives. It is sad to note that so far we have lost 37 secondary school teachers, including 24 principals, 3 deputy principals, and 10 classroom teachers. We do not want to continue losing our teachers. They are very dear to us. So please, whenever you can, we still encourage you to take the jab. As a commission, we continue to do everything possible to ensure teachers lead healthy lives. So far, we have provided full medical insurance cover for COVID-19 related ailments. Further, through our provider, Minet Kenya, we have now created a medical insurance app for our teachers called Walimu Care app that allows teachers to access telemedicine anytime, even from isolation centers or their homes. And what we are telling teachers is that because we know that we are avoiding hospitals sometimes when we can, please use this telemedicine app so that even from isolation or even at school, if the ailment is not so great, then you get in touch with our medical provider, you talk to to the doctors, and you can even get prescription from there and further advice from the doctors. The app also ensures access to COVID-19 health tips. You can track your hospital visits, order for medication, and manage your dependents. The list is long among other services, and our teachers are encouraged to use that app. I also wish to announce that the Ministry of Health has accepted our request to open up a vaccination center at TSE headquarters, where teachers who visit our offices can receive the jab. So this center is in addition to the 622 vaccine centers available to teachers in various medical facilities. And again, we are doing everything to ensure that our teachers get the jab as easily as possible and to access that vaccine and still go back to class in time. So as schools open for that term, we shall have less learners in school as grade 4, class 8 and Form 1 will be on their long vacation. I urge teachers to take this opportunity to prepare the 2021 candidates well and also take time to get vaccinated. Remember that we are releasing the 2020 examinations, and 2021 examinations are just coming. And therefore, colleague teachers, let us take this time to prepare these candidates so that they can perform well. During the administration of this exam, a number of cases were reported to NEC, alleging that some teachers contracted either as center managers, supervisors, or invigilators were involved in an unethical behavior of opening examination papers as soon as they were released from the containers. Such teachers, it was reported, would screenshot examination questions using their cell phones before disseminating them either to candidates directly or to people hired to answer the questions on behalf of the candidates. We are very disappointed by these reports, especially when they involve professional teachers. Teaching is a noble profession, and we should uphold the ethics of this profession. In one case, it was alleged that a school principal screenshot questions, disseminated, and even went ahead to post them on her WhatsApp profile. Really unthinkable that one can even put these things on the profile. In yet another case, a senior teacher's cell phone containing screenshots of questions of a paper was recovered as the cell phone was being transported to a candidate who was sitting the examination at a hospital. We have also been notified by NEC of a teacher who posed as an examiner and accessed an examination center. He has since been found guilty by court and jailed. And while he is not an employee of the commission, he is a registered teacher. We have therefore put in place mechanisms to subject him to a disciplinary process with an intention of removing him from the register of teachers. And as a commission, we shall wait for NEC to give us any other evidence that they may have in regard to unprofessional behavior on the part of our teachers, which is actually very regrettable. These 3 cases that I've just mentioned are just a tip of the iceberg, since we have received a number of unbelievable claims of attempted pre-exposure of examination questions over the last couple of years, some involving experienced and respected teachers. We do not support any form of unethical conduct arising from any teacher. Whilst regarding examination malpractices, we shall therefore act decisively and conclusively on errant teachers while upholding the rules of natural justice and the principle of due process as stipulated in the Code of Regulations for Teachers. In doing so, however, we must be extremely cautious to avoid punishing framed-up teachers who could otherwise be sacrificial lambs of the true examination crooks. For instance, we must interrogate allegations of how a teacher can deliberately post smuggled-up questions on her own app WhatsApp page, the consequences notwithstanding. Could there, for instance, be a cartel of examination thieves that access cell phones of innocent examination officials once these phones are surrendered to a common point at the examination centers, then using the gadgets to photograph examination papers before attempting to route them to their intended targets? This inexplicable scenario has forced the TSC back to the drawing board to devise ways of accurately identifying the examination crooks beyond reasonable doubt. After initial consultations within and outside of the Commission, we have resolved to devise a waterproof system that will help us to accurately detect, identify, and apprehend perpetrators of examinations fraud while protecting innocent teachers whose gadgets may be misused. We think this will be possible if investigators can examine and conduct a forensic analysis of fingerprints of the people who tamper with examination materials right from when they are released from the containers. To this end, we have resolved to launch a transparent process of biometric enrollment and validation of teachers in all public schools. This will entail enlisting their fingerprints, which can then allow for forensic and intelligence-led investigations in cases where examination papers are tampered with and where cell phones and other gadgets are used to commit examination malpractices. The use of biometric validation will assist in vindicating innocent teachers from being blamed for offenses they did not commit. We are at the tail end of finalizing our consultations with the Office of the Data Commissioner on the rollout of the biometric capture of all teachers. In future, all teachers joining the TSC will undergo the biometric enrollment before they enter our payroll. And this is doing what every other organization is doing. When you go to the bank, you just use your fingerprint and everything, because we do not want our teachers to be accused of what they have not committed, but we will punish those ones who also are involved in the malpractices. In conclusion, I want to say that, as always, the TSC will reward those teachers that NEC will give names who have performed exemplary well and improved in their performance, and we shall recognize them. But let me conclude my remarks now by thanking the multi-agency team that is behind the success that we are celebrating today. I can't forget our foot soldiers in the process, field officers of the Ministry of Education, TSC, and the security personnel under the Ministry of Interior. I wish to congratulate all the 2020 KCSE candidates and wish them well in their endeavors. God bless Kenya.
Thank you very much, Madam Nancy. Ladies and gentlemen, I think this is the hour we have been waiting for. It is therefore my humble privilege to invite the CS Minister of Education, Professor George Magoha, to come and make his remarks and release the 2020 KCSE exam results. Karibu sana Waziri.
Chief Administrative Secretaries Dr. Sarah Ruto, Mumina Bonaye, and Hassan Nur Hassan, Principal Secretaries Dr. Julius Juan, Margaret Mwakima, Alfred Cheriot, and Ambassador Simon Nabukwesi, Teachers Service Commission CEO, Dr. Nancy Njeri Macharia, Dr. Florence Mutua, Chair of the Education Committee of Parliament, accompanied by Honorable Winsol Sosion and Honorable Mboko Milemba, Dr. Onsati, Chair of NEC, Mercy Karogo, Acting CEO of NEC, NEC Council members, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am indeed excited this afternoon to welcome you all to this event celebrating the results of 747,121 candidates who sat for the 2020 Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education Examinations. Just 3 weeks since we gathered here to release the results of the primary school exam on the 15th of April. Ladies and gentlemen, after looking at the impressive results that have been posted by our 2020 candidates and taking into account the most trying environment in which they prepared for this examination, I am compelled to describe this show in one apt sentence. Their battle was fought with resilience and ended with grace. Indeed, these candidates navigated one challenge after another that has now left us, all of us, with mirthful faces. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our God to thank for all these blessings of success and wonderful children who have defied the COVID-19 pandemic to shine in their examinations. We also have God to thank for giving us a wonderful and wise His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta, who has invested a lot in the education sector and has given us all the support through his leadership. Over the 1 year, as we sought to reorganize the academic calendar to ensure that candidates sat the national examinations on time, was not only first class, but most appreciated and cannot be taken for granted, because we had so many experts from all parts of Kenya who knew better. But His Excellency the President was bold enough to open the schools, and today we are celebrating these results. I cannot forget my cabinet colleagues, Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i, in charge of the Ministry of Interior and Coordination of National Government, and Joe Mucheru, in charge of ICT, Youth Innovation and Youth Affairs. The three of us have effectively coordinated a multi-agency examination monitoring team that has, over the last 5 years, run a credible examination system, which is result-based. I also wish to thank all school teachers, led by the Commission CEO, Dr. Nancy Njeri Macharia, for working tirelessly during this period, and wish also to extend this thank you to all the NEC Council members and NEC staff, because they know how we have been working, especially over the last 3 days, where we did not have comfort of resting at night. Thanks to the well-coordinated education sector, the 2020 candidates whose results we are releasing today can now join TVET institutions, TTCs, medical training institutions, and universities at exactly the same time they have done, the effects of COVID-19 notwithstanding. This way, we have managed to release the candidates to higher institutions of learning on time. I assure all the KCSE candidates who will receive their results today that they all have a better future, one full of hope and shorn of despair. All candidates have a place in our education story. I want to repeat that all candidates have a place in our education story. Our government has ensured that every child in our country has a place to pursue a career, and everyone deserves a chance, and that chance shall be given. We believe that there is no insignificant child, and that no insignificant child has been born in our country, and we must not leave any learner behind. The government has a duty to nurture each of these learners to pursue their dreams, regardless of how low they start to the very top of the academic ladder. Ladies and gentlemen, we believe in this dream, which indeed is what our competency-based curriculum is all about. I am therefore proud to announce that we have created opportunities for academic progression for all the 747,171 who sat the 2020 KCSE examinations. Already the Kenya Universities and the Colleges Placement Service Groups, whose CEO, Dr. Agnes Wahome, is here today. I think you should stand so that they see you properly. Ukahaha. Let them see you. This is a new boss for the universities, replacing. That is Dr. Wahome, brand new, has identified that our universities and colleges and TVET institutions have places for all candidates. All these institutions have disclosed their capacities of enrollment ahead of selection exercise of 2020 KCSE examination candidates, which I have instructed that should start immediately. That instruction is on behalf of none other than His Excellency, the President. The placement service is engaging with the higher education regulatory bodies, Commission for University Education, the Technical and Vocational Education and Training Authority, TVETA, to ensure that all institutions are prepared to enroll these candidates. This is in line with the Ministry of Education's goal of providing fair and balanced access to quality and relevant higher education and training, and His Excellency the President's policy of 100% transition. I have directed the COOPs to ensure proper public mobilization and communication to campaigns are put in place to ensure that all interested candidates apply to colleges and TVET institutions of their choice. As you are aware, the government of the Republic of Kenya will pay for these children, and they will also be available to get help loans. I therefore wish to declare that all candidates who have sat these 2020 examinations other levels under the government's of %. This explains why the government of His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta has spent enormous resources to expand the TVET sector. Let me also re-emphasize that the government has been paying for our children in private universities the same amount that they pay to public universities. And because we want every child to have access, this is going to continue. For instance, the number of TTIs in each constituency has grown from 52 in 2013 to 233 in 2021. Out of the 233 TTIs, 52 are fully operational, 140 have been built, equipped, staffed, and operationalized, 4 of them catering specifically for children with disabilities, and 41 are undergoing construction, and I hope that by the grace and mercy of God, Mwakima, you are here, this is one of the things that you must finish so that they are operationalized this year. In bid to make up for the time that was lost during the prolonged closure last year, we deliberately created a tight academic calendar that enables us to accelerate completion of school terms. Schools that have opened for 2020 third term today are expected to close on the 10th of July and proceed on a week-long holiday, and then, and only then, shall we start a new year. That new year, ladies and gentlemen, entails the rollout of CBC Grade 5. And for the avoidance of doubt, we shall all roll out Grade 5 together, whether you are in private school or public school. Like I said the other time, there's only one government. upshot of this accelerated calendar will be that we'll have 5 examinations this year. The 2021 KCPE and KCSE will be held in March 2022. So the members of the media should stop labeling the examination we are releasing as 2021. That examination is being set now. The one that is being released is 2020. So even as you go ahead and discuss this, it is for the year which has not ended, which is 2020, which will end in July. In December 2022, we will administer another examination. Hopefully I will not be there, but we shall have planned for everything, that whoever is going to take over from us should have a seamless effort. We had tried to avoid this, but I think since it is one country, and we must remember that the world is a stage, and when you are given a job, you don't get attached to it. You just do what you have to do and ensure that when you leave, whoever takes over can proceed on from there. That is the year that in December next year, that will be the year that we shall do the first grade 6 summative examination. As we are aware, His Excellency the President has sworn in a permanent secretary specifically to midwife the competency-based curriculum changes, the CBC, which basically means that this will be done without any problem. We are therefore about to come face to face with the historic examination session next year, which means that we must start preparing for the 5 examinations. I therefore wish to urge all our stakeholders, and especially those in the unions, to very kindly work with us as they have done so in the past, and the multi-agency team on the examination to tighten their belts and to prepare to confront the 5 impending examinations. Yet, I know dressing up such challenges is the team's stock in trade, and therefore it shall be done. The government, through the Ministry of Education, has opened the door to applications for the government's 9,000 odd scholarships under the Elimu Scholarship Program. This program started in 2019 and was originally meant for 110 sub-counties. But again, through the wisdom of His Excellency the President, we expanded it to children in urban slums and informal settlements. And I have since then learned that the greatest number of poor children in this country reside in those areas. The application is ongoing. I would like to encourage everybody who feels it should be considered to apply. We are being assisted here by Dr. James Mwangi, who has a track-proven record of administering such scholarships. The value is 2.5 billion for another 9,000, and we are hoping that 30% of this will go to urban slum children and children in informal settlements. During the 2020 KCSE examinations, 747,161 candidates sat for the examination compared to 697,222 of the previous year. This represented an increase of 6.6%, equivalent to 49,939 candidates. Of the 7,167 candidates who sat for the 2020 examinations, 380,327 were male, while 366,834 were female, representing 50.90 and 49.10. That is gender parity as far as I am concerned, and we wish to thank the government of His Excellency President Kenyatta for achieving gender parity, because we have had continuously more and more girls coming to sit for examinations. As a matter of fact, in 15 counties, more females enrolled than males. And the 15 counties are Taita Taveta, Kwale, Nyandarua, Nyeri, Kirinyaga, Murang'a, Kiambu, Machakos, Kitui, Nandi, Meru, Elgeyo Marakwet, Kakamega, Vihiga, and Kisumu. The counties with a high gender disparity in favor of the male include Mandera, Wajir, Garissa, Turkana, and Homa Bay. When I looked at these figures very closely, except for Homa Bay, there was almost 1 to 2 disparity. And therefore, I'm going to instruct the field officers in these counties to find out what is happening to the girls there. Are they marrying them too early and covering up under culture? And if that is so, we must bust it and make sure the girls go to school. Marriage can wait at least for another 4 years. I have also asked the Director of Quality Assurance, Dr. Stand so that they see, because people keep asking quality assurance. This is the Director of Quality Assurance. And she has capacity of sleeping inside a marking center for 48 hours. What nonsense are you looking for? Please sit down. Quality assurance and standards to investigate the cause of low female candidates. You know, some people want bodies who cannot do the work. I identified Dr. Gaturu from the fields. Nobody introduced me to her. And I was not even a minister then. I was just an ordinary chair of NEC. Turkana County had the highest number of overage candidates, while Bungoma County had the highest number of underage candidates. The underage candidates are the ones who are 16 and below. But excuse me, please, they have performed very well, so don't touch them. Subject performance in 20, don't hold a child back because the child is underage. You will see that they deserve, I'm going to show you soon. In the 2020 KCSE examination, 19 subjects recorded significant improvement in performance compared to 16 subjects of 2019. There was no significant change in 2 subjects. There were 893 A-planes. There were 893 candidates who scored A-planes, which is 0.1%, as compared to 627, which compared to 0.09, 2019. This is one of the clearest indicators, ladies and gentlemen, that the candidates have performed at par, if not better, compared to 2019, despite the negative effects of COVID-19. Ladies and gentlemen, the number of candidates with minimum university entry qualification, which is grade C+ and above, rose to 143,140, representing 19.03%, compared to 125,747, representing 18% in 2019. The message here is this: all the remaining candidates are eligible to join TVET institutions, teacher training centers, medical training colleges, and other tertiary learning institutions at various levels, from artisan to degree level. There's a table which will show you the distribution, and I don't have to go through them because you will see them. Our candidates with special needs, there were 223 candidates with special needs have obtained C+ and above. And I think I should take time, because since there are special needs, let me just take time to this is an improvement as compared to the 127 of last year, which was 7.6%. The most improved candidates, and the message we want to give here, there's this myth which is totally misplaced. Like right now, I have over 5,000 requests. They all want to go to 3 schools, 3 male and 3 female, and I look at it and I just laugh. Yet, there are students who have scored below 200, and they are going to university from sub-county schools. And I think you will allow me to show you how the so-called children who are flopped have passed well enough to join universities from universities or TVET, because now even a student with A can choose to go and do a TVET course where he's sure he'll get a job tomorrow. And I want to start with one who is from a sub-county school. The name is Cheriot Bet Dennis, Kimargis Secondary School. The sub-county school is somewhere in the country. He has moved from 190 to a B minus, so he's assured comfortably of a university space. The next one is Maluti Tom Miti from ordinary 199, and he's got a B minus also from St. Teresa's Secondary School in Bikeke, the sub-county school. The fourth one is Kipis Soimit Charity from 150, actually 151 in primary school, to C+ from a sub-county school. The fourth one is Sadera Sempeyo Shelvin from Oldekesi Secondary School, 168 to a B minus. The other hero or heroine is Kamar Abdullahi Jamale, 163 from Habaswein Mixed Secondary School, Habaswein Mixed Day Secondary School. It's a sub-county school. The other sub-county school is Sololo Pamari Joseph, Oldekesi Secondary School, is a sub-county. Then there are one or two extra-county schools where we have Hassan Abdullahi Osman, Wayam Secondary School is an extra-county school. And the message here, ladies and gentlemen, is very clear. This, I don't know whether to call it madness or lack of knowledge, that you must go to the Panganis and Kenya high schools of this world. It is our duty as government to ensure that we nurture all the children, even those who will not have performed well. We must still give them, including the ones with E, we must give them an opportunity, because that E does not mean failure. Before CBC takes root, we must ensure that these children are given an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the most improved schools based on the mean KCSE grades, and here we have been open to identify the most improved schools. In the same spirit, ladies and gentlemen, of illustrating schools that can add value to students, I now name schools that admitted students with KCPE mean scores that did a commendable job in improving them. And they include extra-county, county and sub-county schools. The first one is Kayaga Girls School, somewhere in Meru, which is an extra-county school, which improved a KCPE index of 22.38 to 73.98 this year. St. Joseph's Girls Kitale improved from 21.22 to 71.57. Kisasi Secondary School, and incidentally, this is the school I want to take that child who was abandoned. I will personally go and look for him and admit him there and get him a scholarship. This Kisasi Secondary School has improved from 20.48 to 68.26. Oriwo Boys is an extra-county school with which I am very familiar, and they have improved from 31.07 to 78.72. And I could go on and on, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just continue. Rio Kindo is a school that I have visited. KCP index of 18.87 up to 65. St. Joseph's Rapogi, which is near Dr. Juan's house, is an extra-county school from 31.112 to 77.78. And the first private, Light Academy, from 30.15 to 76.74. Sai Mixed Secondary School, which is a sub-county school, I'll just mention two sub-county schools and stop there, from 26.9 to 70. and Wiobiero Secondary School. I suspect that's also near Juan's house. 28 to 70. And finally, Chuka Boys, extra county, from 23 to 69. I could continue, but I think, ladies and gentlemen, you can see where we appreciate those schools. A lesson from this radical positive KCP improvement recorded by candidates with low academic achievement at KCP level is that the government's 100% transition, which is now in its third year, has allowed all candidates to progress to secondary school, and you can see is becoming a major palpable game changer. You are no longer safe hoping that, oh, if you are in KCSE, therefore you are not going to go to any university. That is where the river used to be before. So we are taking the river back to its course. And I think God should be praised for this. If we can sustain this policy over the years, then we stand a chance of saving many academic lives of poor children who otherwise would have been lost because of corruption and what have you. Now, I am sure this is what we are waiting for. The top candidate this year is from Muranga High School. The index is 87.334. We thank God he's a male. The name is Simiyu Robinson Wanjala. The second one is again from a non-entity called Agoro Sare High School, somewhere. The mean is 87.173. The name is Wasonga Alan Udoma. The third one now follows the normal tradition. Sharon Chepngeno Terer, female, 87.173, the Kenya High School. You can see even you are clapping more. The fourth one, I will read all the 15. Moriasi Rob Ongare, 87.139, Alliance High School. The fifth one, Mbogwa Esther Washosho, 87.113, the Kenya High School. The sixth one, Kipkoech Mark Kogo, 87.106, Alliance High School. The seventh one, Kenneth Oranga, 87.049, Kapsabet Boys. The eighth one is Henry Madaga, 87.046, Maranda High School. The ninth one, Chepkorir Patience, 87.046, Kenya High School. Number 10, Musomba Edith Kitei, 87.013, Machakos Girls High School. That is the genuine one, huh? The 11th one, Leslie Lois Wanjiku, the Kenya High School. Number 12, Pylron George, 86.970, Kapsabet Boys. Number 13, Kibrono Howard, Maranda High School. Number 14, Jelimo Debra, 86.947, Kenya High School. And number 15 and last, Buluma Daisy Nerima, 86.938, the Kenya High School. Ladies and gentlemen, the under-16s, these are the special ones who are 16 years and below. The first one is Musomba. So this Musomba, who is on the top 15, is actually under 16 from Machakos Girls. It should be clapped for properly. Makanda Nicole Pialson from Alliance High School is also here, 86.7. The third one is Mutabari Frank Mogambi, Kapsabet Boys. The fourth one is Kipto Gertrude Jeruto, St. Joseph's Chepterit. Fifth one is Kiplangat Gerald, 85.7 from Alliance High School. The sixth one is Craig Onyancha Moturi, 85.6, Mangu High School. You see why I was telling you not to touch these children. The seventh one is Kimunye Dennis Washira, Alliance High School, 85.6. The eighth one is Bill Clinton Jefferson. Wow. And he is from Maranda, so he must be coming from around that area. The ninth one is Isaboke Janet Kemunto, Asumbi Girls, 84.9. The 10th one, Moturi Zeth Ongubo, 84.9. Kagumo High School. For those of you who don't know Kagumo, we are returning back to the river. That's where the brains are. The 11th one is Gateru Sophia Wamboi, Siakago Girls High School, 84.8. 12th, Kitimbo Kefa Kato, Oloitoktok Secondary School, Namungu Asifiwe. Number 13, Rono Sharon Chepkogei, 84.6, Moi Girls Eldoret. 14, Jaden Angela, 84.6, Alliance Girls. And 15 and last, Monda Daniel, Mangu High School. So age is just but a number. That's why you still see me very active. Overall special needs candidates, again, the top special needs person is Kikemoi Miriam Chepleting, 84.8, and A, Moi Girls High School, Eldoret. Getugi Edgar Omoke, 83.566, the score of an A-plane, KCSE High School. Nabat Nyariki Ongubo, 81.4, Nyambaria High School, somewhere in, Nyambaria is in Nyamira. Victor Kiplangat, 80.3, A-, M-Pesa Foundation. Give them a big clap. Warwinge Prudence Nyambura, 80.3, St. Anne Secondary School, Lioki. Onyango David Omondi, Maranda High School, 80.3. These are special needs children. You should be clapping for them. If you saw them, how they suffer to do exams, they are not like normal people. Well, they are abled differently, isn't it? Kialo Francis Mutune, 80.3, Makweni Boys. That's better. We know version Chianda High School, somewhere. A-, 80.2. Mwangi Jabes Mwanja, Muranga High School, once again, 80.6, A-. Nganga Wycliffe Ndiki, 80.162, Aquinas High School. Ominde Moses John, 80.1, A-, Maranda High School. Zomo Gloria, 79.3, Moi Girls, Nairobi, A-. 13, don't worry, these are the heroines. I must treat them all, and you have to wait. Mwangi Caroline Wanjugu, 78.18, Mahiga Girls. Number 14, Kebira Nyakoe Zakaria, 78.019, Friends Kamusinga. That is another school, water is coming back to its level. It's a good school that was submerged by corruption. Museti Stanley, this is the last one. SA High School for the Blind, A-, 77. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll say something about irregularities. because of the benefactor and wisdom of His Excellency the President, this year we have not cancelled results from any school, but we discussed with him this morning, as we go through forensic activities, we may actually recall results if we find that there was an organized crime. You had CEO, the CEO of Teacher Service Commission saying that the forensic activities are ongoing. But for now, to cut a long story short, we have cancelled results, very few indeed, from only a total of 287 individuals, where we had enough proof that they were very cheeky, having been told. And you can see out of the 287, 211 of them had unauthorized materials in the examination room, including those who wore white shirts and wrote. It's very funny. A child takes time to write in the shirt on both sides. So you see them opening and checking inside. Do you understand? Mobile phones were 45, and you have heard from the CEO, Teacher Service Commission, how cheeky they can be. And let me re-emphasize here, for the avoidance of doubt, that those examination papers are actually security papers. So when you open them, like the teacher who has been jailed, he doesn't know how we caught him. But we shall know once you click on the paper and send it to others. We shall know where that paper was opened, at what time, and in which office. And therefore, I hope he stays in jail for 4 years to scare the others. Impersonation, collusion, and double scripts. These candidates are very lucky, because otherwise we would have perhaps cancelled about exams from about 20 other schools. But like I've said, we have given the benefit of doubt, and as we continue to check the results, for now they'll get their results. But if we find a very compelling one, we shall go and appeal to His Excellency so that we can actually cancel that result, because that is cheating. I want to complete by talking about female candidates who sat for the KCP examination in hospitals. As I celebrate, I also want to castigate our parents in the most severe term possible. That our bodies, which we were given by God through His mercy and grace, are temples of the Holy Spirit. And when the hormones are starting to misbehave in your child, by that time you should have told your child how to control the body. In any case, total of a staggering 652 female candidates sat for KCSE examination in hospitals after delivery. They sat successfully and they have got their results. Counties that had the highest number of candidates who sat their examination in hospitals after delivery: my PS, my district. I am charging you to help me, since we are working together, that at 43, we would want to find out what is happening at that level. And since this is one government, that's why even though he's in the university sector, we are going to work together. I will also get involved there. We must get to the root cause, Dr. Baturu. Why? Who is it that is hoodwinking our children? Can we persuade the parents to work with us so that you tell the child what to expect, and not to spare the rod in the house, not in the school. The moment I say in the school, they will kill me. In the house, unaweza chuna masikio, hakuna mtu ataona. The next county is Meru with 38, Nakuru with 36, Kisii, where the chair of NEC currently comes from. You have other duties to do. And Nandi, Chariot, even though you are from Kericho, it's near there. We may need your action. We have noted the number of cases of candidates sitting examinations upon delivery went up in 2020, showing that the long school closure may have contributed. Let me now plead to my daughters and granddaughters who receive their results for the primary school exam, that as they wait to join Form 1 in July, let them have something to do. Let parents help them. We are going to continue to work with my brother and friend, Fred Okengo Matiang'i, right down to the chiefs. And I was instructed to track down these girls and to make sure they are not loitering around and being cheated with sweets and what have you. The stories you hear about sanitary pads in primary schools is fake. The government of His Excellency the President this year spent 490 million shillings, and we gave packets for 9 months. And we are sure that the packets reached, because even we worked together with the parliamentary group, they monitored. Now the challenge is now in the front line at home. Now, I don't know, Dr. Mutua, whether you have an answer to that one, because if a girl comes home with a package for 9 months and there are 2 other females in the house, how do we protect our girls? So this is work in progress, and it is social. And instead of throwing the mud back at government, can we find a solution from the family front? The ministry will work with all relevant government departments to ensure that we focus on the worst hit counties, like I've said. More importantly, I want to urge parents and guardians to do more than ever before to talk to your child. Your child does not need money. Your child needs your time and wisdom. Does it mean that the girls who are there during my time were animals? Were they not human beings? They carried themselves with dignity because the parents did their work. As you go to look for money to feed the children, can you also spare a bit of time, please, to talk to your girls? They will listen to you. Now, in order to access your results, ladies and gentlemen, candidates should therefore collect their results from their respective examination centers. Individual candidates can also access by sending candidate's index number followed by initial KCSE through short messages SMS to 20076. This service will be available immediately after this event. It is now my humble duty and privilege to declare the KCSE examination results officially released. I wish all candidates success in their future endeavors, and if by the grace of God I am here for the next examination, it will be through grace and mercy of God, because we must take life easy. Those who have died of COVID are not greater than myself. I'm much greater than myself. And if we are able to see tomorrow and we continue in this capacity, it can only be through the grace of God. So in the event that I'm still here, we shall continue. If I'm not here, the grace must still go to God for His most infinite mercies. Now, where is the... Social distance, come by. Thank you.
I now take this opportunity to ask Madam Imelda Baraza to move a vote of thanks. Madam Imelda.
Thank you very much, our Master of Ceremony, our Honorable CS, our most valued invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is now my humble pleasure to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion of releasing the 2020 KCSE results. On behalf of the Kenya National Examinations Council and the entire fraternity of education stakeholders gathered here today, I would like to pass a vote of thanks to all speakers and guests for gracing this occasion. A big thank you to our chief guest, Professor George Magoha, our Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Education, for gracing today's function. Thank you, sir, for the firm and steadfast leadership. And through your remarks, we have learned that we have to take the river back to its course. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll agree with me that our CS has an indomitable spirit. Can we give him some rounds of applause? Allow me to mention our deep sense of appreciation for the CEO Teacher Service Commission, Dr. Nancy Macharia, for having spoken with passion about the commitment to service and selflessness of the teaching fraternity. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate that she has taken a transformative agenda for the Teacher Service Commission, and I'm sure as NEC, we're also going to benefit a lot from the biometric registration that will be undertaken for all the teachers. Another round of applause for her. We appreciate the fact that
Right, there you have it, the release of 2020 Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education Examination, and the results were announced by Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha. The top candidate, Simiyu Wanjala Robinson from Moranga High School, Wesonga Alan Odoma came in the second position, and the top female candidate, Sharon Terror, with 87.173 points, and she comes from Kenya High School. Now, among the top schools that have been listed to have produced top candidates in the 2020 KCSE results include Kenya High, Kapsabet Boys High School, Maranda High School, Alliance High School, Machakos Girls, Kagumo High School, Siakago Girls, Mangu High School, and from this we had in this year's results 893 candidates produced a mean grade of A in the results, and according to Education Cabinet Secretary, we had 752,933 candidates who registered for the 2020 KCSE exams. However, he has only released results for 747,171 candidates. These as the Ministry of Education cancelled results for 287 candidates owing to examination malpractices. However, the Education Cabinet Secretary, Professor George Magoha, has said that they have not nullified total results for any school. This, as he says, as the government looks forward towards 100% transmission. However, he says if any case of examination malpractice is found in these results in any school, then the results will have to be recalled and measures will be taken to ensure that we end cheating in learning institutions. These are for the national growth. Remember, as I mentioned earlier, 1,933 candidates registered for the 2020 KCSE examinations. However, 747,171 candidates are the ones who have received their results. This as the Ministry of Education cancelled results for 287 candidates in varied schools, as much as the national government says they have not nullified results for any school, and this is to ensure the 100% transmission from one step to the other. Remember, this results announcement now sets a new way for admission for these candidates to universities, colleges, and technical institutions. As much as we are waiting for new lot to join Form 1, Education Cabinet Secretary says parents should keenly observe the movements of their children back at home, and this also in line in ensuring that those ones who have resumed school as schools reopen today, they are adhering to COVID-19 protocol measures. These include social distancing, wearing of masks, and also use of sanitizers and washing of their hands. Yeah, the Education Cabinet Secretary has also talked about Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Bago has also talked about gender parity, whereby this time round more girls performed better, and we could see an improvement of registered candidates in certain counties in the country, apart from a few, including Taita Taveta, Kirinyaga, Meru, Kakamega, Nyeri, Kitui, among others. These are counties that saw an improved number of registered female candidates. However, Magoha was complaining about issues of early marriages in certain counties, including Turkana and Garissa, which he attributes to the reason why we had low number of female candidates in these learning institutions. Generally, we had 223 students with special needs scoring above C+. These as general number of candidates in the 2020 KCSE examinations who have scored C+ and above amounts to 143,140. My colleague Kamche Menza is still at the Mutihani House and will be getting more details as and when they unfold. My name is Irene Mchuma Odim. My co-anchor on sign language interpretation has been Anne Wangeshi. For more details on just add items, do log on to www.kbc.co.ke. Good afternoon.
Vera Beauty College.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College, with branches in Nairobi, Eldoret, Thika, and Meru. Did you know that we are a TVET approved institution? We offer courses in fashion design, interior design in soft furnishing, event decoration, flower arrangement, event planning, hairdressing, barbering and dreadlocks, beauty therapy, makeup, nail technology, spa massages, teaching skills, TOT, solo business management, and many more. Register now and visit our website on www.verabeautycollege.com. You can also call on 0725-923-550 Nairobi branch, 0728-087-689 Eldoret branch, 0722-227428 Thika branch, 0725-000-706 Meru branch. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, a TVET approved institution.
Je, umeomoka? Kama hujaomoka kwenye QuickBin ndio mambo yote. Hapa tuko na fridge, kodi yake ni CM. Tuko na gas cooker, kodi yake ni CK. Tuko na TV, kodi yake ni TV. Tuko na simu aina ya Samsung ni SM, ama Oppo ni Oppo. My friend, mahali popote unanitizama, eka hizo kodi zake kisha utume kwa 4032353. 40323